All right, so you've decided you want to learn a new language. That is awesome. But let's be real, jumping in can feel, well, a little like being dropped in the middle of a huge city with no map, right? There are so many apps, so many methods, all promising the world. So in this explainer, we're going to cut through the noise and give you that map.
And I bet this sounds familiar. You get that first burst of excitement, you download a couple of apps, maybe you even buy a textbook, and then what happens a few weeks later? You're stuck. You feel like you're just spinning your wheels, not making any real progress, and you have no idea what to do next. Hey, don't worry, that feeling is super common.
But what if I told you there's actually a clear, proven path forward? See, it's not about finding that one magic app that's going to solve everything. It's about understanding the journey itself and then choosing the right tools for each part of it. So let's do it. Let's draw that map.
Okay, first things first. Every map needs a destination, right? We all say we want to be fluent, but what does that even mean? What does it actually look like? Well, lucky for us, there's a system for this. It's called the Common European Framework of Reference, or you'll hear it called the CEFR for short.
So the CEFR basically breaks everything down into three big chunks. You've got your basic user at the A levels. They can handle the simple, everyday stuff. Then you've got your independent user, the B levels. This is where you can handle most situations when you're traveling, you can talk about stuff you know, and then at the top, you have the proficient user. These are the C-level folks who can use the language for pretty much anything. See, suddenly, that big, scary goal of fluency becomes a series of clear, achievable steps.
All right, so we've got our map, now we need to pick our ride. How are we going to get there? And honestly, how you like to learn is the most important part of this whole thing. So let's look at two of the biggest names out there, Babbel and Duolingo, because they show two totally different ways of thinking about this. Okay, so Babbel. Think of Babbel as the structured path. It's for the person who wants a real curriculum. It was actually designed by linguists, and it focuses on teaching you practical, real-world conversations with super clear grammar explanations in audio from real people. It's basically a textbook, but in an app. Then you have Duolingo. Duolingo takes a completely different approach. It turns learning into a game. The whole point is to get you to practice, even just a little, every single day, using things like points and leaderboards and those famous streaks to keep you hooked.
So here's the big takeaway, and it's really important. There is no single best app. The best app is the one that actually works for you and your personality. So ask yourself, do I need that structure, that depth, or do I need a fun game to keep me showing up every day? Your answer to that question tells you exactly where to start. Okay, but here's the thing. No matter which path you pick, I guarantee you, at some point you are going to hit a wall. Every learner does. It's called the intermediate plateau. It's that frustrating place where you feel like you've just stopped making progress. But don't worry, to break through it, you just need a secret weapon for your memory.
And that weapon is called a spaced repetition system, or SRS. It's this incredibly powerful learning technique, and it's based on a really simple scientific idea. Your brain remembers things way better when you review them just as you're about to forget them. And the magic of an SRS is that its algorithm figures out that perfect moment for you.
Now, one of the most powerful and popular SRS tools out there is an app called Anki. The easiest way to think about it is like flashcards on steroids. First off, it's free and open source, which is amazing. It syncs across all your devices, so your flashcards are always with you. You can add audio, images, video, whatever helps you remember. And this thing is a beast. It can handle over 100,000 cards, no problem. This right here is how you truly lock in vocabulary and grammar for good.
I love this quote from the researcher Michael Nielsen because it just says it all perfectly. Anki makes memory a choice. Think about that. With a system like this, you're not just hoping you'll remember something. You're actively deciding what to remember and then letting the system do all the hard work of scheduling for you. It's a game changer.
Okay, so you've got your map, you've got your learning style picked out, you've even got your secret memory weapon, but all the flashcards in the world are not going to make you fluent. At some point, you have to make the leap from just learning a language to actually using it. And let me be crystal clear about this. You can spend 1,000 hours clicking buttons on an app, but you will never become conversational without actually talking to other human beings. It's a fact. Fluency is forged in the fire of real, messy, imperfect conversations. That's where the magic happens. So how do you find people to talk to? Well, there are apps for that too. Something like Tandem is amazing for this. It literally connects you with native speakers all over the world who want to learn your language. It's a language exchange. You can text, send voice notes, do audio calls, video calls, whatever you're comfortable with. And seriously, don't be afraid to try that speak from day one philosophy. It's not about being perfect. It's about building confidence by just doing it. Okay, so we've covered the how. We have the whole strategy laid out. But there is one last, really crucial piece of this puzzle, and that's setting realistic expectations. Let's talk about the true cost of this journey. How long does this stuff actually take? So, what's the real number? Well, researchers at Cambridge University actually looked into this, and they estimate that it takes, on average, about 200 guided learning hours, so that's time spent in lessons or with a tutor, just to move up one single level on that CEFR scale we looked at in the beginning.
And this chart really puts it into perspective. To get from absolute zero to a basic A2 level, you're looking at about 200 hours. To get to that B2 level, where you're feeling pretty independent and can really hold a conversation, that's a total of 600 hours. And to get all the way up to C1 proficiency, we're talking 800 hours. Now, this isn't meant to scare you. It's meant to give you a real, honest timeline so you can plan for.
And of course, the language you choose makes a huge difference. If you're an English speaker learning something like Spanish or French, those numbers are pretty accurate. But if you're tackling what the US government calls a super hard language, think Japanese, Mandarin, Arabic, that number just skyrockets. You could be looking at over 2,200 hours of class time to get to a professional level.
So, there you have it, the whole roadmap. Learning a language isn't some big mystery. You just need a destination, those CEFR levels. You need the right vehicle for your learning style. You need a powerful tool to make your memory work for you. You absolutely need real-world practice, and you need a realistic idea of how long it's going to take. The map is in your hands now. The only question left is, where are you going to go first?